Looking back on your career, I imagine you didn't see yourself being the person that you are today. What was something that was insignificant, like in the past journey, that led you to here, that made you realize that, oh, this is what I'm going to do, this is what I'm going to focus on? Because I imagine as an entrepreneur, you had so many different opportunities, but like you went all in on the creative finance. So what was that thing that made you realize? Like,
I mean, if you want to hear the story, I could tell you the story. I don't know how much time we have, but F-150 is a good one. Okay, so I was a contractor. I grew up in a contractor family. That's what I learned how to do, swing a hammer, make money, trade time for money, similar to what agents do primarily, right? We trade time for money a lot of times. And I always knew I wanted to get into real estate. Why? Because somebody told me I should. I didn't know exactly why. That was an important thing. But the reason why I have become successful is very similar to the reason why Aaron's become successful and you guys have become successful, is I can track all of the money I've made back to a person I met who changed my life. Every time. A conversation I had, a meeting I had. Rooms like this, guys, oh my gosh. Think about this. 10 years ago in your earlier life, 15 years ago, if somebody came to you and goes, okay, one day there's going to be a room full of people that all want the same thing, and they're all givers, and they're all motivated, and they all watch out for you. And the cool thing is, somebody named Aaron Novello was going to filter all of them in for you, and all you had to do is get yourself into the room, and you could make millions of dollars with the people in the room. You'd be like, how do I sign up for that? Right? Do you remember a time in your life where like you would have died to be in this room? I do. For me specifically, it was a lady. You want to hear the most creative deal I ever done in my life? Yes. Before I even got into real estate. So when I jumped into construction, I was 22 years old. I just come home from my mission. I sold Jesus door to door. So like doing what I do today is a day off.
Yeah, it's easy, baby. It's easy.
Selling Jesus in Korean, knocking doors.
Really? I didn't know that. Korean?
Korean.
Wow.
I knocked 79,000 doors in 2 years.
wow.
79,000 doors in Korean. I had the worst day on my mission was walking down the street and somebody, as I was talking, all right, my mouth is moving, somebody timed it perfectly to spit right in my mouth.
No!
Because Americans are not welcome, especially missionaries, like, Mormon missionary, nerdy looking dudes. So I get home from my mission. I jump into construction. The only way I knew how to get business was like posting on Craigslist, right? Posting on Craigslist. So I start building a little handyman business. I'm painting in the mornings, handyman business in the evening. And I get a call from a guy named Scott Bigelow. And Scott Bigelow calls me, he goes, hey, I need somebody that can paint 15 houses. I saw your ad on Craigslist. I go, 15 houses? Okay, cool. Like over the next couple months? He's like, no, per week. I'm like, yeah, I'm not a good fit for that. Best thing this guy ever, one of the best pieces of advice I ever got was like a big brother beating me up, and he says, are you in the business of saying no, or are you in the business of figuring out how to say yes? 15 houses a week, and you're telling me you're not a good fit? You better figure out how to be a good fit. This isn't 20 seconds of being on the phone with the guy, okay? Now the story is really, really good, but again, you're asking the question, what were some pivotal moments? It's always a who. It's always a person that pivots me. It's like brushes off the rough edge on my shoulder, watches out. Like a good brother will watch out for you, watch your back, have your back. These relationships we accumulate are more important than any skill, really, at the end of the day. Because what would I rather have? Every skill in the book or access to every skill in the book? Who's going to help me with this? Who can help me with the contract, right? Type of thing. Anyway, so Scott, I'm on the phone with him, and he goes, I'm going to call you back in an hour, and I want to hear you say yes. So I get off the phone. I'm like, oh. So what did I do? I thought creatively, right? I called the paint company I would buy paint from, and I would go, the name of the company is Dunn Edwards. Some of you guys know who Dunn Edwards is. It's like Sherwin-Williams or Benjamin Moore. I called up Dunn Edwards, and I said, hey, who's the painter that buys the most paint from your guys' location? And they go, oh, it's this company called Luxor. And I go, cool, can you put me in touch with this company called Luxor? And so he give me Tom's number. Tom's the owner of Luxor Paint. I call Tom. I tell him the situation. He goes, okay, cool, perfect. My friends, this was one of the most pivotal moments of my life. Tom, I said, hey, Tom, like all I want, I'll connect you with Scott and you together. I'll put you guys in a text message together. Just pay me $2,500. That's what I told Tom. Tom says, no, my friend, I'm going to teach you what arbitrage is. I'm like, what? Is that Egyptian? What is that? What is that? I'm 24, okay? These are things that your dad can't teach you, your mom ain't teaching you any of this stuff, right? And he says, I'm going to teach you what arbitrage is. If we're going to paint 15 houses a week for you, I'm going to make sure that your $400 every single house that I paint every single week goes to you. All I want you to do is stop by those houses every Saturday and you and I build a relationship. I call Scott back, or Scott calls me back up and I go, I got it. We're going to paint 15 houses. Dude, I painted 15 houses a week for that guy for 4 years. I made $26,000 a month for 4 years off of the arbitrage of Luxor paint. That allowed me to hire people and build my company and gamble on bad employees before I knew how to be a leader, right? And actually hire the right people, et cetera. This catapulted me. I then was the biggest contractor for Open Door. I was the biggest contractor for OfferPad. I was the biggest contractor for Zillow in Arizona and 3 other markets. I was the guy, and I'm making millions of dollars. Well, here's what's cool. Okay, fast forward, that contract ends. Scott Bigelow was, oh, this is crazy. So I live in Mesa, Arizona. This is a year ago. Okay, fast forward now, 17 years later. I'm in Mesa, Arizona. I'm driving by this dope house that's being built, like insane. Probably 15,000 square feet. Normal for you guys here in Florida. All these freaking houses on the ocean. And I drive by and there's Luxor paint trucks outside of this house. It's just being framed. I'm like, what is a painting company doing at a house that's just being framed? So I stop, I'm curious, right? Eternally curious. And I get out and I walk in and I see the guy in the Luxor shirt. I go, dude, what are you guys doing? Are you guys painting? Like, you guys work for Luxor, blah, 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 blah. You guys getting ready to paint? He goes, oh, no. This is the owner's house, Tom's house. We're building it, and we're just all helping him out, blah, blah, blah. I go, dude, tell Tom I love him. I appreciate him. I haven't heard from him in 15 years. He goes, dude, Tom's right here. He's in the backyard. I walk in the backyard. His wife is there, and Tom sees me. He goes, peace. He almost starts crying. Comes up to me. We start chatting. I go, dude, you changed. Can I just tell you, dude? My whole life changed because you told me, do not just take a $2,500 fee, wedge yourself into the arbitrage. Here's what happened. Here's what happened with me in my life. And he goes, can I tell you, my family, we call this house the house that Pace built.
Wow.
I'm like, what? I'm getting chills right now. He's like, I go, what? Why? And he goes, our company was facing a downturn. We needed clients desperately. And if you didn't call me, I didn't know what I was going to do. And you were the answer to our prayers. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I take a selfie with him and I text Scott Bigelow, who was the guy that said, are you in business to say no or yes? I sent as a Scott and I go, Scott, whoa, check it out, da, 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 da. Scott calls us, we're FaceTiming, and Scott says, can I just tell you, I had called 20 painters before you. Every one of them said no, 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 no. My boss, Invitation Homes, which is Blackstone, said that if you don't find a painter today, you're fired. Scott, it was, I mean, so many lessons. I could write a whole book about this thing, right? But it wasn't me. It wasn't me. It was a person I met. It was a situation I put myself in. It was never me. And so the more and more I live my life, the more I realize, if I want to make more money, I want to be a better leader, what do I got to do? I got to hang out with people who are making more money because they're providing more value to the marketplace than other people are, and they're better leaders, so I want to hang out with those leaders. It is never a book. It's never any of those things. It is physically getting around the people that are going to change your life. And even thinking creatively, right? Like if you hung out with me for 4 hours, you'd walk home going, oh, dude, you freaking, how do I take that?
How can I buy groceries? Subto, I don't know. Can I do that?
It's true. So yesterday, I do this thing every Thursday where I take 15 people from all over the world and I let them come spend the day with me for free. And I just go, it's called Day with Pace, so they just follow me around. I bought a whole van just to do this. And so I had this guy that's building ADUs, right? He's metal fabricating in Phoenix, Arizona. He's creating a manufacturing line, but he's like, I don't know how to market, I don't know how to sell, I don't know but I'm a great fabricator. I want you to come and check out my product. I want you to buy some, and I want you to see if this is a cool product. I go, cool. This will be really good for me to bring these 15 people from all over the world and have them go see this guy's ADU shop, right? It's kind of like Boxable, but made out of all tube steel. So I walk in there, and I'm thinking, how do I take 40% of this guy's business and take him to this revenue goal? How do I go build a team behind him and take all the crap off his plate that he's not good at and take 40% of a company that I think could be $1 billion company? Everybody else in the van, we're walking out, I was like, so Pace, how many of those are you going to buy? I'm like, that's all you saw in that space? That's like Aaron said.
If your mind is blind to the possibility, your eyes are blind to the opportunity. There was literally do you see how powerful that is? I know that sounds like catchy and it's cool and you're like, wow, that's cool. No, like it's a legit difference between something materializing or it not. And we've talked this week where we were like, hey, you're one relationship away from changing your family tree for the rest of your life. What are you hearing from Pace? You're one relationship away from changing your family tree for the rest of your life. So it's getting proximity to those people.